Ladies and gentlemen, you may have seen him on this stage before. I give you my friend and fellow New Fairfielder, Whoop Whoop Tony! Yeah, have fun, ladies. Go get him.
How you doing? My name is Tony Sanches. I live in New Fairfield. I'm married. I have 3 kids that I know of. I get really, really nervous when the doorbell rings on Father's Day. It's coming up, you know. It's just like 2 weeks away. And I tell my kids, stop, look, don't open the door. Look, if anybody looks like they share your gene pool, do not open the door. My wife hates that joke. My girlfriend loves it. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong impression. You're probably thinking, this guy, Tony, he's a player. I'm not a player. I've been married for 26 years, and I've always been very practical when it comes to love. When I was in college, I played the drums, and my ideal girlfriend was a woman who could help me carry my drums and get me from gig to gig. So when I was in the bars, chatting up the ladies, my rap went something like this. Hey, baby. You look pretty sturdy. You work out? How'd you get here? Oh, you drove. You have a car. A station wagon? I'm in love. Now, I'm a very compassionate person. I know a lot of people are hurting out there. These are tough times. I'm particularly concerned about Southern racists. Times are tough. I mean, look, 8 years of a black president. They just recently took down the Confederate flag in Charleston, South Carolina. And now, as if it couldn't get any worse, we're going to put Harriet Tubman on the new $20 bill. Woo! Come on, let's hear it for Harriet. So we're putting a black slave who helped free black slaves on the $20 bill, and she's replacing a black slave owner. I mean, if you're a Southern racist, you got to be really depressed about that. But it really creates issues for Southern racists. So when they want to go to the store to buy something, they can't use the $5 bill with Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator. They certainly don't use the $50 bill with Ulysses S. Grant on the bill. So now when the good old boys want to go down to the store and get some chewing tobacco and some beef jerky, they're carrying wads of singles and a pockets full of jingly jangly change. Tough. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, wait a minute, Tony. The reality is people use credit cards. Even some Southern racists have credit cards. Now, if you're a Southern racist, you don't want to encourage any of those immigrants to come to this country, so you're not pulling out your Visa card. In fact, you prefer to hearken back to the good old days of the plantation, and you're using your MasterCard. So I like to give back to my community, and there's this great organization, you probably heard of it, it's called Locks of Love. And what it is young girls grow out their hair, and they'll cut their hair, and they give it to this organization so they can make hair pieces for kids who, for medical reasons, don't have hair. So it's really great, it's a wonderful organization. I'd like to contribute, but I'm follically challenged up here. So I thought maybe we could expand that concept. I mean, what if we had, like, back hair for bravery? What do you think? How about pubes for perseverance? Woo! Now, little Billy's going to have a fucked up looking afro, but, you know, I'll feel good about myself. So a little bit more about myself, because I know you're dying to know. This guy's wondering whether I'm a Muslim, you know, so it's okay. It's okay. I'm Puerto Rican. It's cool. We're good. We're cool. You're a Donald Trump supporter? No, okay. So I was born in the projects in New York City. And when I was 6, let's hear for the projects. Come on. Yeah! Woo! Public housing! When I was 6, we got kicked out of the projects. Not because my dad was involved in criminal activity or we couldn't pay the rent, but my dad was making too much money. So we moved out to Long Island in a very much very much a white house in pretty much a white suburb. And my father was very concerned about us fitting in. He wanted us to assimilate. So he told my mom, he told my mom not to teach us Spanish. Even though my mother speaks perfect Spanish and perfect English, he didn't want her to teach us Spanish because he thought we'd have an accent and we would stick out. I said, Dad, I have brown skin, I got a fro, and my last name is Sanches. Somebody is going to catch on. But you know, my dad was right. I mean, Long Island was great. The school systems were fantastic. I got such a good education. I learned, my vocabulary expanded. I learned a lot of new words and phrases, mostly directed towards me. Phrases like spick and jungle bunny and nigger. And that was just in first grade. So in addition to the overt racism we had to deal with, my family had to deal with some of the indignities of subtle racism. We'd be in the grocery store with my mom, me and my two sisters, and we'd go to the salad dressing aisle. We'd look up, we'd see Italian dressing. We'd see French dressing. We'd see Russian dressing. And this was the 70s when the relationships between the US and Soviets weren't that good. And we were like, where the hell's the Puerto Rican dressing? We felt ignored. So I am getting a little concerned about the truth in advertising and labeling. I see the ads all the time. America runs on Dunkin'. I got news for you. If you're eating at Dunkin' Donuts a lot, you're not running anywhere. You might walk briskly and then get a little winded. I think it really should read America waddles on Dunkin'. I think that's more appropriate. Then I go to the Apple store and I go to the Genius Bar. Now, those are two words you don't usually associate with each other. I mean, if you're spending a lot of time at a bar, you're probably not waiting on a call from the MacArthur Foundation or the Nobel Committee. And then finally, Starbucks. I go to Starbucks, I get the perfect oatmeal. So when I order the perfect oatmeal, I get a paper cup with oatmeal still setting up. I get a little package of nuts, a little package of dried fruit, a package of brown sugar, a spoon in a pouch. I gotta open up all the pouches, I gotta mix it up, and I gotta feed myself. That's not my idea of a perfect oatmeal. Perfect oatmeal for me is slathering my wife's naked body with oatmeal. I don't even need a spoon to eat that. Thank you.
How's that going, Ridgefield? We said all the words in that one, and you applauded for the projects, which is what people in Ridgefield have never fucking done. So way to go and be right in there.